Hi everyone! Today I'm going to be doing a really casual bullet journal weekly setup, and this is in my traveler's notebook, which I have been using for my planner. So this is the first insert that I have. It's a dot grid notebook from the Travelers Company, and I've been using it as my bullet journal since August, and it's been working really well. And I've been doing these weekly spreads and posting them onto my Instagram, and people have been very curious about how I set them up. It's actually pretty simple, and it's very similar to the Traveler's Notebook free weekly insert that they have, which I have used before, but that one is a little bit different than this because, you know, it doesn't have the dot grid on the left side, and then it has like a small grid on this side. And I really like having just like a dot grid instead of a grid now. And I also just like customizing it myself instead of having it predated or having to use their format. So I modeled it very closely off of their weekly memo insert, but I just wanted to show you how I do that since I've gotten a lot of questions about it. Oh, and also another thing about doing it yourself in a dot grid notebook or a grid notebook is that you can have your weekly, but then you can also have as many pages as you want afterward for your dailies. So usually it's just like 1, 2, 3 pages or so, sometimes more. Like this one I had, I think, a few more, and then I did the weekly on this side. So that's kind of why I like it. It's like I have structure, but then I also have this like freedom to just do whatever I want, and I can start, you know, adding other things that aren't daily logs. I can add lists, and like here I did a October overview before the month starts. So that's why I decided to do my bullet journal kind of like the Traveler's Notebook, with a combination of the versatility and flexibility of the bullet journal system. So I'm going to do a weekly spread. It is week 40 in the year, so I'm gonna do October. What day is today? I'm all discombobulated right now because I skipped a week. I did not do September 30th through October 6th because I've been trying to get over a cold, so I actually didn't do a spread. I was really sick. I was bedridden, and that is why I have my honey lemon water here. It's gonna be a long one, long video, so if you want, you can grab a drink yourself, and maybe you want some tea or some coffee, and you can journal along with me. Oh, by the way, I am pregnant. So that kind of explains why I haven't been doing videos in a really long time. Like part of the reason why I haven't. I'm gonna grab my Muji pencil. This is just a 0.5 millimeter pencil, and I just kind of quickly look back at one of my previous ones. So I just create, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So from the bottom, I just start creating the lines. I just like to turn my book this way and then create a line here. What's cool about this ruler here, this is like one of those miniature sewing rulers, is that it's 1 inch across, so the width is really handy for doing 5 dot grid spaces up, and I can just do kind of like line it up against the previous line that I had made, and I know it's going to be exactly 5. So I just keep doing that all the way up the page until I have 7 blocks for the 7 days of the week. I like using pencil. You could use an ink if you would like. If I make a mistake or something, I can erase it. And it's also a little bit more subtle than ink, so I have gotten into the habit of using pencil. And for previous bullet journals, I'd used very subtle markers as well, like fine liner markers or like the bullet tip end of a Tombow marker. I also like to make like a double line at the top here for some reason, kind of to delineate like the top. It's just my way of being fancy. So those are my horizontal lines across. Next, I'm going to switch to my longer ruler here, and I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 over, and I'm just going to quickly do a line down. That's it. I just have my lines very subtle like that. Next, I'm going to do the stamping part. So for the stamping, I've gotten so many questions about these stamps. I've used them in very old videos before, but the stamps that I'm using for my weeklies now, this is the typewriter alphabet set from Michaels. It's a Recollections brand, and it's clear stamps. They work really well. They've lasted me for years. This one is slightly less good quality than the Michaels brand, but I got this on Amazon, and it's from the Stampendous brand. These are the small ones, and I actually use the numbers for that. So I'm gonna go ahead and stamp them with my my black ink. I just used the Versa Magic chalk ink from Dewdrop. It's a Dewdrop brand, but this is actually the only ink that I found that doesn't bleed through to the other side. So that's why I use black, even though I have all these other colors that I keep in this nifty box here. These actually bleed through to the other side, so I only use it for certain things that I don't mind bleeding through. So I'm gonna use the Versa Magic chalk ink. I wish I had bought these in the chalk ink version instead of the Memento. I like to put my writing board on the side that I'm stamping on underneath to allow there to be a really kind of like rigid surface so that I get more of an accurate stamp. Like so. I pressed that one a little bit hard, but that's okay. So with each letter, kind of get a unique imprint, and it doesn't have to be perfect at all. All right, so I'm just gonna continue on, and I just take a piece of scrap paper that I was practicing calligraphy and doing like a new logo for my website. I just like to have a piece of scrap paper so I can clean the stamp off, and I'm gonna continue on and do the rest of the letters. So that was the stamping part. And of course you can use stickers. You could write it in yourself. The stamping method is a little bit more time consuming than writing it in or using stickers. I'm on the lookout for a good set of date stamps instead of using like the individual letters. However, I haven't been able to find a style that I like yet. For now, this works. It just takes a few more minutes than just using one stamp. So depending on what you have time for, you can totally do it another way. I just like this look. All right, so I'm switching up the angle here to show you how I write in everything in my bullet journal. And I like to write out all my weekly tasks first before I do any decorating, so that way I know I have room for it. I'm going to get to the fun part, which is decorating it. Of course, you don't have to decorate it if you want to just keep it minimal. I used to do that. I used to just like write the tasks and then that would be it. And actually my daily pages are pretty bare because I just, I don't have the energy to kind of like carry this on. I could probably plop some stickers down, but I just find that it's kind of just nice to have the weeklies decorated as a way to unwind, and then the rest of the days are just like, just write what you need to write and then do what you need to do. Basically, I am going to just like fill the areas around the writing here, and then usually I like to leave some areas for, you know, I just kind of decorate the perimeter of the page so that I can write on kind of like this area here. And so I decorate corners, and then later on I'll fill in with writing. And that's kind of like my technique, is to write, decorate, write, decorate. So the next thing I'm gonna do is kind of like get my elements together. And it's just a kind of experiment, to be real. I just put things down, see if I like them. These are also from AliExpress. They're like stickers, vintage ephemera stickers. And I like some of them, I don't like some of them. Some of them are a little bit big. I do like decorating my covers with these, so they're really cool, and I can like trim them down and things like that. So I'm thinking about going with more of a like text, and then like florals with stamping, maybe even incorporating some paper. I have some like this thin craft paper. This is simply deli paper, and it's really versatile for like scrapbooking. So we'll see what happens. Whenever I have something that's kind of square or rectangular, or, you know, kind of geometric like that, kind of a not as interesting of a shape, I like to incorporate ripped paper, crumpled paper, to kind of bring some organic shapes into the spread, to kind of contrast that, if that makes sense. It's not really that formulaic, but there are some things that I do in order to, that's kind of nice right there. And I'm just using this craft bond glue stick, repositionable bond, and I like it. It's good for crafting. It kind of has a more of a drier texture. However, I do find that sometimes the corners peel up, so I really got to get in there. It's like less, it creates less wrinkles and stuff on the page than like regular glue stick. I'm still kind of hunting for a good dry glue stick that won't cause wrinkles but also kind of have a good bond. Like that's always the sacrifice. And this writing board is a plastic material, so it just cleans right off, so that's kind of good for gluing things down. And I did purposefully kind of like create texture, so it's okay that it's a little wrinkly to me, and I like that a lot. Yes, indeed. And I am going to place it kind of like right here so that it overlaps a little bit, like right there. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, next I'm gonna put this on, and this is where that dot grid comes in handy, you know what I mean? So to make it kind of seem like this is clipped onto the page, I'm going to add one of those clip stickers from, this is so old, oh my god, my old logo, everything, but I just use it. And I think I might use the larger one, and then I'm gonna put that there. So these are clear so that they will show through. Next, I am going to add some washi tapes and smaller stickers around these areas so that I can create some balance. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and write out my daily log for today, Monday. And I like to just kind of pop this over so that that knot doesn't get in the way of writing. Gotta have my trusty paper so I can glide across the page, and I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, so this is my daily log for Monday, and as you can see, I basically just write out more of the tasks, and I kind of like expand upon what I have planned in my weekly overview. So like things like recording a YouTube video, I kind of break that down into bite-sized chunks so that I can find it more manageable psychologically. And also just like there's so many floating pieces that I do that. And then also like with laundry, you know, doing the bedding, like my bed sheets and like the dog's bedding, that takes like a few loads. So I just do like how many iterations of things I put that many task indicators. Same with taking medicine and also like feeding the dogs. I do like 1, then 2. And you'd be surprised, like sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, did I feed them yet? So this is like, I'm just a very forgetful person, and I feel like if I don't write something down, I will forget. Like last 2 weeks ago, I didn't do a bullet journal weekly spread, and I totally forgot about going to one of my doctor's appointments for pregnancy, and I had gotten a fine for that. So that was annoying, and I realized that even though I had put it on 2 digital calendars, if I didn't write it down, it just like doesn't stick to my head for some reason. So this is why I write things out like this, and I just like it just really helps me to keep track of it. So that is my daily log for today. I will continue doing like Tuesday, Wednesday, you know, all the way throughout the week on the subsequent pages. As far as these empty spaces here, I think I'm gonna start filling them in with more stickers and quotes and things like that. So I'll go ahead and search for some quotes on the internet. Alright, so I just added a quote right here, and it's a really nice quote that I actually sent to a couple of my friends because they're like my lifelong friends, and I just thought it was really nice talking about like old friends, kind of sharing in the ups and downs throughout life. I'm gonna add one more thing. I'm kind of loving this one right here, and then I think I'm done for at least the initial setup. I think that looks nice. Kind of just like putting something there to fill in that space. So the rest of the week I will be filling in these areas here with either tasks or maybe even more quotes if I don't have anything to put in those areas. I'm not really a minimalist, so I like to fill them in. Well, I am a minimalist on, you know, these days, but not on the weekly page. So I hope you enjoyed journaling with me today. I hope that you got some inspiration, or I hopefully answered some of the questions that you've been asking me over on Instagram or emailing me about. And I'm really glad to be back. It has been such a hectic year with pregnancy and just like all these other things that were going on. So YouTube fell off my radar, but I am back, and who knows what will happen once this little one comes out. But I'm gonna try my best to keep YouTubing casual so that I can create more content instead of being a perfectionist about it. So this is the first of a kind of rebranded kind of chill with me, journaling with me series that hopefully will continue on. Let me know what you think in the comments. Can't wait to hear about what bullet journaling or planning system you're going to use in 2020. Let me know. I will definitely be doing videos about that for sure. And yeah, I will see you next time. Bye.